created the game, you made the rules. I played my part, but I refuse to stay the fool. You can break my heart, but you can't break me. I'm rising up, I'm reaching out, I'm soaring free. I'm soaring free.
All right, so
In the field.
and we'll get started for reals. Just a reminder to people in the universe of art. How someone reacts to your art is less about you and more about what's in their heart. Try not to take it personally. Because the honest truth is, it's not. Am I live? Let's make sure that I'm live. Make sure that I can be heard. Yeah, okay, good. We're effective, we're live, we're done. We're for reals, ready to start. Oh my gosh. You know, Malachi, since you showed up tonight and currently are the only one here, you get a very special treat. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. Hopefully this will go well right now. So you had asked for a Mad Hatter drawing, and indeed I have been working quite hard at putting one together for you. Hopefully it will be received better than the last person who received a gift from me. Let me get into it. I gotta find it first. I gotta find my own folder. I'm being too goofy. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! Tell me what you think. Is he crazy enough? And of course, there's also the version that doesn't have the teacup in front of his face, if you prefer that one. Well, blessings to you for not being a picky person. And yes, there are coordinating designs to go with this piece of artwork. I will show you the individual elements. I'm going to pop open the actual full artwork that's in Photoshop, and we'll show you how much work you are worth, sir. I appreciate your appreciation. You have no idea how much I needed that right now. All right, so here we go. Oh, is it showing? No, it's just showing that one. Let's see if it'll pop over to this one once they get rid of that. Why is it being such a butt tonight? There we go. Hooray! All right. So we have the teapot, which is its own element. The arm and the hand, which I probably will group those together. Which looks funky without it. Where is my group? Convert. There we go. There we go. Good job, you. All right, let me go in here and turn those back on so they're showing up again. Oh, good. I'm glad she likes it. So behind the hand, so to speak, and the teacup, there's the Mad Hatter by himself. Got his little top hat there. And then we have this individual piece, which is the green with the rose. And these pieces all come together to form a final design. So, right. I did want to show that to you. I'm going to email you these things along with a rack card. Now, a rack card, for those who aren't aware of what one is basically a 4-inch by 9-inch sheet of cardstock, front and back. Yes, it's got quite the smile to it. And basically what it does is it helps you promote it at craft fairs or trade fairs or anywhere you're out in public. And I will be helping you set up a Spoonflower account and uploading the designs to it so that you can sell these as a coordinated piece, because they've got the matching pieces to them. I'll show you some of the design work also that go with it, ranging from the simple to the complex. So there's this piece. Let me let the screen catch up to you. Now this is a tiling design that you're going to be looking at. So it's designed to tile across fabric or wallpaper or basically anything. Oh, I guess, yeah, there we go. And it's got the Mad Hatter, so you can see the actual grin on his face. Then we've also got this piece, which is just the tumbling top hat on a green background. Which coordinates with this. The goal of this is that if you showed this to an interior designer or even to somebody who's in fashion, they would be able to buy these as a component, as a whole, and be able to trust that they could put something together that would look like it belonged together. So that was the thought process behind doing these. And then time for tea, which is just a scatter of the teapot and the teacups. It's hard to get a real picture of it until we upload it to Spoonflower and see it tiled out. But these give you an idea. Here we go. Here's that one. Then there's this one with the teacups and the hat. There we go. Teacups, teapot, and the hat all together in the purples. And then just some stripes and plaids. So we got the black and white stripe that's vertical. I'll give it a minute to catch up with me. And then this purple and orange plaid, which is pretty outrageous, but it goes with the main artwork, so somebody may want it. It's definitely going to hurt your eyes if you stare at it too long. But my goal is to give you something that would allow you to fund your creative work without having to do a whole lot of extra work. Basically, you can be doing your drum shows, drum tracks anywhere, and then pass out the rack cards while you're there and let people know that you've got this, and it'll be yours, a full commercial license to use it however you see fit in whatever way you want. You'll also be getting black and white outlines so you can recolor the designs to any colors you want. And then a book that will go with it that has the artwork, the elements, the black and white outlines, and an explanation for what each piece in the artwork means. So it's a more meaningful promotional piece, but also something you can sell independently if you choose. And that, sir, is my gift to you for being one of the first guinea pigs to agree to the Creative Business in a Box trade. And I'll be sending these over to you, and then, of course, we'll talk about what drum tracks I need. So, and then there's the orange stripes, which is matched to the purple. But there you go, sir. That's the whole of the collection. And of course, my hopes is that this will help you. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely can use it for your YouTube channel. Actually, the nice thing is that as part of the thing, I recorded the entirety sessions of me creating it from start to finish, including the different designs, so that those can be used on your channel to help you promote the Spoonflower and Zazzle stores that I'll be setting up for you. An entire package. All for you, sir. That is what we do here. Oh, and thank you for being grateful for all of it. Thank you so much, because the person that I spoke to just before this was not. And yeah, it's a hard thing to remember when you create something. You work really hard to create something for somebody, and then they pick it to pieces. It's a really hard thing to remember as an artist, but it's a really important thing to remember that when you do a work of art for somebody, especially, you know, with the intention of helping them set up something like this, how they receive it is a reflection of what's in their heart. It's not a reflection of the value of your heart. And that's a really hard thing to remember and to hold on to, but it's also a really important thing. This is a person who has struggled in a lot of ways with gratitude pretty much for as long as I've known the person. And when you struggle with gratitude, you don't intend to hurt people, but all you see are what's wrong with the things that are given to you. You don't see the beauty of them. And I know this because I used to be insufferably an insufferable ingrate. I was not appreciative of anything I got. Nothing was ever good enough. Nothing was ever enough for me. And I would pick it to pieces. So, and I'm not proud of having been that person. And I've worked really hard to change that about myself, because looking back, I recognize just how awful it must have been for the people around me who tried so hard to do things for me, and I just could not receive them. And I think that was partly because I struggled with love in general. I really didn't think that I was worth loving. And so when people tried to be generous to me, or they tried to love on me, all I could I think my brain just went into finding reasons why it wasn't good enough, because I wasn't good enough. It's what it came down to. I don't think it's the person trying to be cold. I don't think it's them trying to hurt anybody. I think they're just coming from a place where they struggle to see the good in them, so they struggle to see the good in anyone else around them, or in anything around them. And that's a really dark, tough place to be in. Because when you struggle with gratitude, you struggle with everything. You definitely struggle with relationships. And you don't know why. The funny thing is that everybody else can see what the problem is except you. And yeah, I'm grateful you're my friend too, Malachi. I really am. You know, as much as we all have our faults and flaws in the community, and there are always going to be times when we struggle to get along, or we do things that may unintentionally hurt somebody, I value every person who shows up for me. Really? The teapot was from the Mad Hatter being he was the host of the tea party. So that was where the idea for the teapot and the teacup came from. What's the teapot mean for you? I promised you guys it would be an interactive stream tonight. So, and I have not lived up to that promise. Not yet, anyway. So if you want to pick a subject, in other words, something you want me to draw, I would like you to type it in the chat tonight. And whatever we create, we co-create tonight. It will be something you get to keep. I will be giving you the PNG file for it. Hey, Tamay! Good to see you! You are just in time for us to start that interactive portion of the stream. I was just going over some work that I did for Malachi, and revealing it to him, and then we are ready to start the interactive part. So I want you to guys... You're gonna drink the blood of your enemies from the teapot. Nice. Very metal. Hey, Will. Good to see you, my man. You guys are arriving just in time for the actual interactive portion of the stream to begin. Woohoo! So what, gentlemen, are we drawing tonight? What is the main subject of the drawing we're creating tonight? You can pick anything you want. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do it justice, but you can pick anything you want. You get the entrails. Nice, Will. Yeah, make a cake of it. A guitar, of course. What kind of guitar are we doing tonight, gentlemen? You gotta give me a make and a model. You know it makes a difference. A Jackson. Flying V, huh? Okay, interesting. A guitar made of entrails. Oh, Well, we can make it blood red and dripping. And that's a possibility. Let's look at a flying V. And let's look at a Jackson and see which one's going to be better for me. Or maybe we'll do both. You know, I don't have to be picky. I don't have to be limited in my scope. Let's see. And we're going to do, yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Can I copy that? All right. Let me pay attention to chats. Monkey guitars, the Jackson Kings V. Let's look at that comparison. Oh, okay. All right, it's a very similar kind of shape. Okay. Yeah, all right. Let's see if I can find something that I can use for a reference, a good reference. Oop, nice. That one came straight out of the box there. Unexpectedly. All right, so let's put this here. We're going to use this as a reference. This is not what I'll be drawing. Let's see, and a flying V. Is that the same model, maybe? Or, well, it's the same basic shape, I guess. But some differences in how it's presented. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to pop in here. It really doesn't want to. Oh. Okay. Yeah. See if I can get it to... It just... Darned if they don't want to copy. I understand the creators are quite protective of their work for very good reason. Okay, so I see the main difference between the two, though, is how it's laid out. Okay. So we'll do that. Let's see. Pop back open my chat. Yeah. Oh, well, now that would be super complicated. I don't know if we're going to get all that done. But never let it be said that we didn't try. Let's work on one element at a time. We'll work on getting this element in place first. And then we can work on placement and basically everything else involved in it. I love you guys so much. I just want you to know that. You guys make my day. You really do. And I really, really needed that today. I mean, the day started off really well. I will say that. The day started off really good. I felt really good about myself and my life and everything that was going on, and then I just ran into a person that just makes life quite difficult. And I struggle sometimes to love this person because they make it difficult sometimes to love them, and we all do from time to time, and I struggle to remember that. when I'm dealing with them, and to remind myself that how they behave is a reflection of who they are, but how I respond and react to them is a reflection of who I am. And to be more charitable to them than my temptation is to be. I love that person very dearly, but there are times when I definitely struggle with loving them. And I don't mean well, I struggle to feel the emotion of love, but I struggle sometimes to make the choice to love them. Precisely because they make it quite difficult to do so. But I will say this, the authenticity of the love that you have for another person is not shown when they are easy to love. It is shown when they were at their most difficult to love. When it requires actual sacrifice to choose to love them past their unlovable behavior. And to choose to see the best of them in spite of what they might do. And tonight that was definitely a struggle for me. But you guys helped make it all better. So just rock on with your bad selves. I will not cut ties with anyone. I refuse to do that. Actually, that's not entirely true. If they are a physical danger to me or to my family, then yes, I will cut ties to prevent them from doing harm to me or to my family. If they are a physical threat to my marriage, in other words, if they will not stop hitting on me or attempting to interfere with our marriage, then yeah, you're darn skippy. I'm going to cut them out in a heartbeat. Because I value my marriage more than I value almost any other relationship. And then the third thing is if they are a harm to my granddaughter in any way, or even a potential harm to her, I will block their happy selves so fast you won't even be able to see how quick it'll happen. I will not allow her to be harmed in any way. Not while I draw a breath. People who should have protected me didn't when I was a child younger than her. And I got really severely hurt because of that. And I will not allow it to repeat itself. I may not be able to protect her from every harm that comes her way, but I will protect her from whatever I can. So those are basically the only ways you get blocked out of my life. Hurt my family, hurt my marriage, or cause physical harm and destruction. If I can't physically stop you from doing harm, I will block you. But beyond that, I'm a pretty forgiving person because I don't have any right to be otherwise. Goodness knows that Jesus has forgiven me so much. I don't have any right to withhold that from somebody else. I may have to take a temporary pause. I may have to collect myself, gather myself, because I may not be able to emotionally handle things right then without saying things I will regret later. But I don't have any right to deny anybody forgiveness. That's just how I see it. I don't blame people if they choose to. I certainly understand wanting to protect yourself from people who are toxic in their behaviors. I don't believe in toxic people. I do believe in toxic behaviors. Some behaviors, well, charitably, are not acceptable. I do believe in giving second chances and third chances and fourth chances and 15 millionth chances, because that's what Jesus has done for me. But I'm not going to demand everybody else follow what I do. And I'm not going to think less of people who can't. God knows it takes me a lot. It actually takes, well, divine intervention. Yep. Well, to be perfectly honest, Ubi loves me in spite of myself quite often. There are times when I have been toxic as all get out toward him. Just not good. Not a good partner. But I do my best to work on my behavior on a daily, to be a better person today than I was yesterday, to love people with greater authenticity, and basically to be the person that Jesus would ask me to be. Don't always succeed. I have my limits. Not going to tell you I'm a saint, because I'm not, and then that would be a huge lie, and lying is a sin. And then I'd have to go to confession, and boy, would I hate that. That would be such a pain in the ass. I mean, I value the fact that we have confession, but I would rather not have to go. Yeah, Ubi and I have been together since I was 13. And we have been married since I was 19. And as y'all know, that means I've been together, married with him for 31 years now. And we have had our fair share of ups and downs. We have certainly made each other's life very difficult at times. But I will tell you this. He was the one that God picked for me, and I have not always appreciated that, but I have no regrets about having married him. I recognize very clearly now that he was the exact right partner for me. And one of the reasons I did pick him was because I knew he was going to push back against my BS. You know, that's funny. My initials when I met him were BS. And that's true fact. It's hilarious, but it's also true. And I knew that I had a very strong personality, and that if I didn't have the right man in my life, I would end up running right over the top of the person that I married. Full stop. And that I would never have a quality relationship with somebody. I would become extremely toxic to them and maybe even kill their spirit, and I didn't want that. And so I deliberately chose a partner that was going to push back, that was not going to let me get away with BS. And Ubi has certainly done that for me. He's been my accountability partner and called me out on my crap when I needed it. And I would not be the person I am today without him. That is the true facts. And people haven't always understood why we work together. People haven't always understood why we stayed together. Some people have actively discouraged us from staying together, basically saying we're not good for each other. But in the long run, I trusted God over them. And that's a choice I have no regrets about making. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm doing my best to replicate what I see over here. May suck at it. I told you guys. My skills are not always what I wish they were. But, we embrace the suck, right? And man, I need to get better at that straight line. I technically could if I did this. Blah. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but a cute trick for Photoshop, if you want to draw a really straight line, and I don't know if it'll work correctly because we're at a slight angle on this, but if you get to a point where you can, you want to draw a straight line, you hold the shift key down, and then, yeah, no, it's going to just do a real straight line, and I don't need that. The joys of doing digital art. Sometimes I don't have a straight ruler. But yeah, I have, I try to be very forgiving with people, recognizing how often and how badly I have screwed things up in life. I try to be very forgiving with people's mistakes and misjudgments and how to handle situations, because goodness knows I've made my fair share. There is will, but the line tool won't apply here. Because we've got these angular edges, a line tool won't help us. That's the unfortunate thing. I'm just going to have to sketch through and clean up later. Well, at very least, you guys know this wasn't AI generated. Oh, guarantees of no AI use here, buddy. In a world where everybody's worried about it being human generated, we now see why a lot of things aren't. Because sometimes you just have to embrace the suck of real life creation. And yeah, it can take hours to perfect a piece when you're doing it hand generated. There's so much that goes into it. Not promising it will be quick or clean, just promising it will be done. One of these weeks, I'll introduce you guys to Blender. If you're not already familiar with what that is, it is a 3D modeling tool that also does 2D painting. So it also happens to be free to use, and it can do video editing, and it can do a whole lot of things. If you know how to use it, it's a beast of a tool. Very cool. I am not anywhere near proficient with it, but I can do a few things. I would not anywhere near begin to call myself an expert or by any means somebody to turn to for advice on it, but yeah, well, I have been a freehand artist for most of my life. I actually got this tablet last June, I think, or July, and have only been doing the digital art like this since then. What I used to do was I would do it by hand and then scan it in and then transform the scan into what I needed. Digitize the scan, if you will. But this kind of fine work I usually do more in Illustrator, which gives me the pen tool that allows me to do curved lines and things like that more easily. Photoshop doesn't really give me that. Its pen tool sucks, just to put it bluntly. So I don't usually do these fine lines like this in Photoshop. I usually do them in Illustrator so that I don't get this jagged, crappy look to it. But tonight, we are embracing the suck. We are doing this freehand. And we are definitely seeing the suck. Yeah. The Wacom is killer. It has definitely been a gift. It was the best $50 I ever spent in my life, okay? No joke. Hands down. I picked it up for $50, the Wacom Pro that I've got, and picked it up for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. No regrets whatsoever. It has been a game changer. And actually, I really couldn't do this stream without it because you guys would... I'm not really good at doing my camera work while I'm doing my drawing work at the same time, so it would kind of has sucked. But because I can do the tablet and stream, I can have Photoshop in my window, that gives me that freedom. Woohoo! Do we have 6 strings yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we have 6 clumsy strings. Ubi says I'm already better than AI. Let's see, did I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah. Okay.
Day in the life of the guitar string. This is what you hear, and I'll play recorded full sound. And this is what I get to hear, and you hear the plinking noise of me plinking away on the string raw. Glamorous.
Yeah, well, you know, you get the glamorous parts of me too. Oh, Lordy, have mercy. Oh, you know what? It is not really shrinking it down. Where's the fun in mercy? Sometimes I wonder. Somebody stole all my mercy. You know, that reminds me, I used to know a girl named Mercy, and she had very little in her. Just like I used to know a girl named Sophia, who was not very wise. I always find that if you name your child something, they are less likely to possess that trait. Yeah, Charity and Chastity, and neither one was what they were named. I always think that's kind of a cruel thing to do to a child. It sets them up for unreasonable expectations. Like, how are you going to live up to that? Seriously. Your mama named you Charity, but you ain't got an ounce of it. Your mama named you Chastity, and you sure haven't made it there.
My mama didn't raise no foot. Y'all didn't raise no doormat. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to complain about it.
Yeah, basically. All right. Yeah, I would really like to get one of those digital tablets that has the screen on it so I can draw directly on it, but that is a more expensive than I can afford currently option. And so, why are you not erasing, you little twink? Um, so we will deal with what we got for the moment. Why is it just not behaving itself? Isn't that the question of the day? No, baby, it's got nothing to do with you. As much as your ego would like for it to. Ha 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 ha. Oh my. Yeah, it's just stopped behaving itself. So why are you doing that? No, And I'm on the right layer for it. See, it would be one thing if I were on the wrong layer. Shoot. Why is it not doing what it's supposed to do? Let's pull up a new layer and see if it'll start drawing there. Or if there's something genuinely getting in the way. I'm going to take a pause, guys. I have a bit of a... Actually, you know what? I have a bit of an issue. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. All right. I am going to actually export this PNG, and I'm going to pull this thing into Illustrator, and we're going to work on it there because that's just going to be a better situation for us. Drawing and chilling. New folder. All right, let's get out of that. We'll save the Photoshop file and see if it'll behave better later, but we may do adjustments to it later. And of course, we don't have that much longer. We got about 10, 20 minutes, I guess. 20 minutes before we'll be calling it quits for the night because we got Ubi stream going on. Whew. Lord have mercy. All right. So I'm going to close out of Photoshop for the moment. Screen's going to go black probably. And wait, let me pull up Illustrator first before I do that. So you at least have something to look at. Now the nice thing about Illustrator is I really don't need the tablet much. It's very much something I can control with the mouse, which is why I used to prefer it over Photoshop for doing artwork. It does produce more cartoon-like drawings in general, but that's actually my lack of skill. It's not the necessity. No. Let's try a 6x6. In keeping with what we've been doing. And we're going to, ooh, yeah, you know what? I can show you guys this. All right, so what we're going to do is pull in this. We're going to stop it from being a jerk, hopefully. No, it really doesn't want to. It's telling me no. It's not loading Illustrator in there for whatever reason. Ugh. My computer is just not being nice to me today. I don't know why. Hurts my feelings. There we go. Now it's, no, still not showing Illustrator. Oh my goodness. Computer, why are you being such a pain in the ass? That's... Alright, let's see if we click away, if we come back in. Yes. Maybe. Oh. There. Finally! Stop giving me so much attitude, computer. You don't own me. I do too. Alright. Oh. Tonight has just been the night. Like I said, today started out great, actually. You didn't really miss anything, Mal. Just me struggling with tech issues and stuff. So that's been fun. That's all you missed was tech issues. I think nobody really wants to deal with that crap. So I'm gonna now try to pull this in. Where are all my things? Good Lord, computer. Would you just behave yourself for a change? Please. Nope. It's gonna insist that I close the program. Okay. You know what? Maybe this is where we call it for tonight, because it is just struggling. And, it's okay. Thank you guys for being here. I think I am gonna go ahead and call it. Normally I would go until 7:45, but I think with my tech issues going on, it's just a signal. Time to take a break, time to take a pause, let y'all reset before a Ubi stream. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here, how much I appreciate having you guys in my corner. It was a rough time coming into the stream, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support and the love. I totally appreciate it. By the way, we will fix this file in the next stream. I know I'm showing you nothing but a black screen right now, which is lovely. And then I will give you guys the file to use. I'll show you how to take something like what we created in Photoshop, use Illustrator to turn it into a more graphic illustration, and then we'll actually create a fabric design featuring that flying V, using tiling for patterns and things like that. So awesome. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for watching. You have a fantastic evening. See you in Ubi stream.